Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Union Cigar After Hours. As always, I'm David.
I'm Jordan.
All right, and tonight we are fortunate enough to sit down with a good friend of mine, longtime friend and brand new owner of Union Cigar Gettysburg, Mr. John Weiser.
Hey, Dave.
All right.
Jordan.
All right, thanks for coming out tonight, John. So we're just going to keep the conversation light. We decided to come up with some questions. They're pretty difficult. I hope you brought your brain pan with you tonight.
We'll see what we can do here.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, right? Like what got you into cigars? How did you come to be the new owner of Union Cigar? And how long have you actually owned the establishment?
Sure. So, well, I mean, it started all about 5 years ago. Josh Turner, a good friend of mine, a constable here in the county, I would come in here with him to just shoot the shit. And he would say, you know, why don't you buy a cigar? And I'd say, well, Josh, you know, I've never smoked anything before in my life, and I'm not real sure how I feel about that. And I said, you know, my big thing is I don't want to get addicted. And he goes, I promise you, you'll only get addicted to the experience and not so much the cigar, right? It's all about the experience. In fact, I think you've touched on that in other episodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Right? So I said, all right, man. So one night we sat out here in the square of Gettysburg, a couple of us, and first cigar I ever smoked, if I remember correctly, was something by Drew Estate. And I just absolutely loved the experience. We sat around and just talked about anything and everything that was available to talk about, right? And so that's what started my experience. And at the time, Bill Cinnamon owned the shop and became really good friends with Bill. And, you know, prior to doing law enforcement, which is what I do now, I worked EMS. You know, we worked together for many years. And for me, Union Cigar Club at the time was a place that I could come and just relax. So after every shift, I'd come in here, light up a cigar, and I have met some of the most interesting people that I've ever met in this shop.
Yeah, I love that you said that. When we were in here the other week, you remember that gentleman visiting from Ireland?
Yes.
That was in here. He said the exact same thing. After you were having a conversation with somebody, and when you got up and left, he leaned over to me and he said, you know what the greatest thing about these cigar lounges is? I've traveled the world over, and you meet the same interesting characters in every single one, everywhere you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's why I fell in love with the place, you know, and now full-time I do law enforcement work. I'm an elected state constable. I was born and raised in this county, and I fell in love with the shop and the people here, and that's how the story started.
Awesome. Well, I love it here. That it was, oddly enough, I've been smoking cigars for a long time. I never knew this place existed until you started sharing on social media, hey, you know, come out and check us out at Union Cigar Club. I think the name changed a couple of times there.
It did.
Union Cigar Club, Union Cigar Gettysburg, you know what I mean? All kind of, but I love and I like what you said. You're addicted to the experience.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
When I worked for the hospital, the healthcare system, one of the hospitals I worked at, when they bought out the ambulance company, we had to go through testing, right? Because they were tobacco free, and so obviously I had to give up cigars for a couple months so that I could pass the test.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I didn't miss not smoking a cigar. I mean, that didn't bother me at all.
Right.
I miss the people.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I miss coming in here and hearing everybody's story, right? Because everybody's got a story that walks through our doors.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I missed. As far as the tobacco itself, you know, obviously I enjoy a fine cigar, but I found myself over those months actually starting to come in and buy a drink to sit down and enjoy the brothers and sisters of the leaf here at the lounge.
Yeah, awesome. Good deal.
Yep. So we're coming to you tonight from the library of the General's Lounge, which is a new addition, right, to the lounge, or to Union Cigar. So can you tell us about some of the other improvements you've made to the shop?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Bill Cinnamon started this shop 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And Wild Bill from Philly, right? So from South Philly, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. But Bill started this shop 15 years ago. He wanted a place to smoke. And that's how Union Cigar Club came to be. And he ran just a fantastic business here for many, many years. But with anybody, right, everybody ages. The fire starts to go out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it started with me approaching Bill saying, you know, why don't you pass the torch on? And to make a very long story short, that is what we did, right? We passed the torch from the Cinnamon family to me back in November of last year, the 17th of November in 2020 we bought. And one of the visions that I had was creating expanding off of what Bill had built, right? He had this great foundation, so it was time to build. And so that's what we did. And what we're sitting in right now, the general study, is part of that building of what he did. And we created our General's Lounge, which is 2 rooms. One is the lounge, which we filmed in one night, and then one is the general study, which is what we're in now. And you know, we, as you guys have talked about before, we have the 24 memberships for here to make it, you know, exclusive to those that choose to belong and their guests. And then we can hold special events here in the room that we're sitting in right now. So we've done a lot of expansion, but this room is just one of those things that we've done.
Okay. And there's been some improvements downstairs as well, right?
There is.
The downstairs lounge is open to the public, right?
It is. So when we took, and I say we, I mean the company, all right, we became Union Cigar LLC. We dropped the club. And the only reason that we dropped the club was we found that it was sometimes confused people. They would see the word club and they kind of thought like you had to belong, right, that it was private. And, you know, one thing I've learned with Bill, while he can be a cantankerous old man, and Bill, I hope you're watching because you can be a curmudgeon at times, but we love you. His suggestion to me was, John, maybe you should consider dropping the word club because it can, you know, lead to people being confused about it.
It lends to that exclusivity that maybe isn't there.
Right. So we created Union Cigar LLC, and we wanted to kind of bring the property up to, you know, to modernize it a little bit. So, for example, downstairs, Bill used to have an area out front that he would sell different humidors and some trinkets and stuff like that. And I thought, you know, what a beautiful place to be able to sit and people watch, right?
Oh,
it's one of the best things in
Gettysburg.
one of the best things to do in Gettysburg is to people watch, right? And we have the outside seating area, and so we removed that stage, and now customers can sit there and throughout all times of the year and just enjoy the experience. What else did we do? We replaced all the humidification system so that we can ensure that, you know, everyone's cigars are at their best. We installed a monitoring system for all of the humidors. In fact, if the humidity drops below a certain percentage, it actually alerts our staff through text message to say, hey, you know, this humidor needs your attention.
Oh, wow.
We expanded our lines. We've added probably over 20 or 25 lines to the shop. We've put 3 additional humidors on the sales floor. As we've talked about before, we have our own coffee line. And we're getting ready to expand that, getting into iced coffees and cold brew coffees and nitro coffees. In fact, Travis from Lanka was here earlier this evening, and we're doing all kinds of tasting and stuff with that. So then we also had the entire place repainted. We spent thousands of dollars and put in all new air filtration because, I mean, while you enjoy the aroma of a cigar, nobody wants to go home smelling like an ashtray, right?
Right, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so,
sitting in that smoke.
Exactly, exactly. And then your eyes start to water, and then you got to go out. So, you know, we redid all that. All new carpet. We totally redid the walls with stuff that's hanging up on the walls. Kept a lot of iconic things that Bill had, including Bill's picture from when he was in the military. So we've really done a lot to improve the customer's experience because, I mean, that's why we're here, right?
Right, absolutely.
It is for everybody that's watching and those, you know, that watch our show or you tell your friends about us. It's all about the customer experience. And, you know, one of my favorite things that we did, and this was my selfish thing, is Padron, right? And that's what we're smoking tonight. We're smoking the 50-year anniversary, right, in the Family Reserve. So We have the largest selection of Padrones in the area. And we have a whole cabinet dedicated to Padrone. And our relationships, right? We met with Francisco Almonte. I think you guys talked about that in one of the episodes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now we're the
DBL.
DBL Lounge,
Yeah.
right? And then through this program, as it grows, you guys have agreed that you're going to start getting local business owners in. Mm-hmm. So it helps to promote them. So that is what we've done here, right? And it's all about improving the customer experience.
Yeah. Well, and to expand on that too, you're just taking, like you said, what Bill Cinnamon created, and you've been able to update and modernize, but you've also described it too as we are the keepers of time.
That's right.
Right. And I think I speak for Dave and myself when I say I think you've done just that, and it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And that is what it is. We are just keepers of time. And so, I will own Union Cigar. I own Union Cigar by myself. In the beginning, I had a business partner, and, things change, and so do situations. So, I own Union Cigar now by myself. And, but I have such an amazing team, right? And when you have a great, amazing team, and you have such, and we've become a family, right? And obviously, you guys are a part of that family now. And when you have a great family to work with, it just makes it so easy, right? And don't get me wrong, we've had our trials and tribulations in the shop, and our hurdles just like everybody else. But at the end of the day, when we have such a great team that can help to work together to make my job easier, because I still work a full-time job. The truth of the matter is, I don't want to be 65 years old putting handcuffs on somebody.
Right.
Sure.
So I bought this to one day be my retirement. One day become Bill and sit in the back with the Fox News turned on at volume of 80.
Yeah.
And anybody that's been in our shop knows.
Yeah.
But Bill enjoyed it in his retirement years, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to be able to sit back and enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. I mean, and you keep saying things like you've said we a bunch of times, you said family a bunch of times, team, things like that. And one of the things that really speaks to, I think, your heart for the community and for the people here is that every time we've had multiple discussions about what are we going to do next, what's our next event, what's the next thing we can do, is what drew me to you and to here and to wanting to work here and come on staff was your ability to constantly be in the shadows and be in the background. It's all about the staff that's here. I want them to be secure, and I want to do as much as every businessman is in it to make a dollar, right? I mean, everybody's trying to make a buck. But one of the great things, and like you just touched on it a few minutes ago, is you do a lot to expand the local business community. We had Vish from the Gary Owen pub down. We're pairing with Lenka Coffee. They're a local coffee brewer here.
Absolutely.
And so expand on that a little bit for us. Like, what do you see the direction of Union Cigar helping out the rest of the local York Adams, larger business region?
So absolutely, we came out of COVID, right, which affected everybody,
Right.
Including this shop. Thank God Bill was able to continue. He persevered and he got through COVID, and then obviously we bought after COVID, not because Bill had to sell, but because I rode his rear for so long to sell it.
Right.
All right, I think he got tired of me talking to him about it. But so I look at community partnerships, right? And Ray Galker, who started ACTV years ago, right, and Francis Brown, God rest his soul now. I interned at ACTV years and years ago, it seems. And Ray's big thing back then, Ray Galker always talked about ACTV was celebrating who we are as a community and having and building community relationships.
Right.
That's nice.
And I have to tell you, I kind of stole his idea all those years ago. I'm not paying for that, Ray, just telling you right now. But I mean, that stuck with me from all those years ago. And he taught me in, it was like middle or high school. It was middle school because I was in New Oxford in the high school years. But, he taught me in Gettysburg the importance of building community relationships and celebrating who we are and what we do as a community.
Definitely.
So
That's nice, yeah.
who's to say that just because we're a business, we can't do that, right? Obviously, anybody that owns a business is to make money.
Right.
Anybody that tells you otherwise is a liar,
Sure.
right? Not to say we don't do some charity, but that doesn't mean that we can't build these community partnerships. And we've done that. We've done that with Gary Owens, Mason-Dixon Distillery, community media, because we wouldn't be here tonight if it wasn't for them.
Right.
Yeah, Mark, our guy from community media, does an outstanding job.
Absolutely.
Comes out, does all the filming. He makes us look like professionals.
Right.
In a finished product aspect, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if I say he's going to take that out. But
Twice.
right? No, but you're right. 3, 2, 1. Right. So you're right, Dave, and like community media and others in the area, and we've even gone outside into the Cumberland County area. We have Devin and Mark with Hook and Flask, which they're back here in July for an event. Blanca Coffee Roasters, right? So it's all about working and trying to support some of these mom and pop businesses who have really struggled through COVID.
Yeah.
And continue to struggle because they can't find staff.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So raising awareness about what they do and who they are. We're in a tourist town, so it's pretty easy for these places to be busy during tourism. So what we do is we try and continue with them to help get the locals who maybe may not even know that these places exist.
Right.
Or don't go to them because through the summer months they can't get a table at Gary Owens or the Blue and Gray. And to be honest with you, we work and play with these guys, right? So
Definitely.
A lot of us eat at these establishments. A lot of them are customers of ours. Yanni is a general from Mason-Dixon. So, that's why it's so important to just celebrate who we are and what we do and really give back that way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great phrase that kind of lends to that I was taught years ago, right? You talked about helping out all these local businesses, and if you help them, they help us, and it goes like this. It's a rising tide lifts all ships.
Absolutely.
Right? If the tide at the pier comes up, all the ships go up at the same time, and they all dip at the same time when the tide goes back out. So if we're doing well and we can repay that and have some other people come out, then like you said, it's going to raise up for everybody.
Well, absolutely. And for me personally, because I still work full time, I'm able to take what we make here and continue to dump it back into this business to make all the improvements that we need to. I mean, we've dumped a lot of money into what we do here.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's worth it to see the smiles on the faces of our customers, to read the reviews on Google or Facebook, to watch what people write and say, to hear people talk about this show. Hey, when's your next episode coming out? It just is so rewarding.
It is. Yeah.
So, and to see our employees, our family, be so excited about what we do here, right? Because it's not about just selling cigars. We could teach anybody to sell cigars. It's really not that hard, right? I mean, I think
people want them. They're going to come in and get them.
Right. It's advice, right? I never sold. Let's have a problem selling potato chips, but So I mean, they'll sell themselves. But it's about creating an experience, and that's what we do here.
Yep.
And I'll venture to say we do it better than anybody in South Central PA.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think that we do better here than anybody else, and it's like you said, enhancing that customer experience, is our event nights.
Absolutely.
Right. There's not a whole lot of other places that I go to, period. But I mean, there are a few that I do frequent from time to time, and they're never doing anything. You know what I mean? So what are some of the events we do here? Like if you follow us on social media, you'll see Jordan shares it, I share it, John puts it out, the shop puts all sorts of stuff out. And we're doing something, almost every week, I feel like.
So we do a lot here, right? And you can be involved with Union Cigar as much as you want or as little as you want. And first off, I got to tell you, if you want to know what we do, the best thing to do is follow us on the socials, right?
Yep.
So for us, it's Facebook, and you just look up Union Cigar and you find us. Same way with Instagram. You and Nick do our Instagram program. And, then we have our Union Cigar YouTube channel, right? And none of that's created to make us money for those, like creators.
Yeah, those platforms aren't paying us.
Right,
to do
they don't
any of
pay.
this.
They refuse to pay tobacco products because I guess we're the devil. But whatever. So, I have no idea where we were going with that.
Events.
Could you read?
We were talking about events.
Yes, thanks so much. Yeah. So events, Dave. You're right. We have a lot that goes on here. On the first Friday of every month, we do an event in-house on property. Our events manager, Francis, does a fantastic job and works countless hours to ensure that our customers have great events. And Francis and I work very closely together to accomplish that. And you know, part of the success of Union for me has been I'm kind of the dreamer, right? Like I say, okay, this is what I want to do. But being an effective leader is recognizing that there are people that have better skill sets than you, are smarter than you. So you put those people in places that have those specific skill sets to ensure your success. And that's what we've done, right? So first Friday of every month, we have some type of event here. Then on the second Monday of the month, on the odd number months, we now do our King's Table, which is, it's a black tie affair. It is limited to 5 people only. We sell those tickets. We give a free pour of a high-end spirit. And then they have a meal, you know, like a 3-course dinner, and then they enjoy a high-end cigar and the company of one another.
Yep, right. It's great.
Then we do some off-site events, whether it is a bonfire, which we just did last month. We learned from that, right? We're going to make mistakes. We did that in June, a little warm for that. So we're going to try that again, right? Do it in September. I assure you the marshmallows weren't the only thing roasting. And, you know, so then you move to the 4th week. We do on the last Friday of the month, the last Friday, we do trivia night, right? Like this month is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles here in June,
Okay.
right? Nick, our general manager now, Nick got promoted. He's our general manager. He runs our trivia nights. So, you know, and like anything else, some of them are extremely busy, some of them aren't. You know, on our events in the shop, we get about 40 people that come out to an event. And then every Tuesday night, we run movie night.
Yep.
You know, which has really become a staple of the Union.
Yeah, definitely.
Is our movie nights. So, you know, and we're always looking for somebody to find something to do. And we put them on nights that you know, hey, you know what, it's Tuesday night, what are we going to do? Every Tuesday night we know the Union does something. Hey, it's the first Friday of the month. You may not know what it is, but Union's going to do something because they do something at the Union on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like Tuesday night for me is, it's not my favorite night because I'm more into like I'm going to be spending most of my time in the general study.
Sure.
Right? For me, my ultimate cigar smoking experience is a quiet environment with a good book, cup of coffee, maybe a conversation with 1 or 2 other like-minded people.
Sure.
Right? But one of my really good friends from the ambulance that I still work with, he loves big crowds. He likes coming to movie night. Right? So if you want it, I like what you said, there's a little something here for everyone. You can be as involved as you want to be or as uninvolved as you want to be. So if you want to come down, I would recommend a Tuesday night. Like I said, it's not my favorite, but that's when you're going to get the best crowd. People are going to be a little bit more lively. And it's just a good time to come and hang out. It's kind of low key. Check out what do we got coming up on Tuesday? I think we're doing the Great Outdoors.
We are. We're doing
Tuesday. With John Candy and Dan Aykroyd.
Right. By the time this airs, you know, that'll probably have been passed. But you're right. I mean, and what we started to do is once a month, we now bring a rep in on a Tuesday night to do a cut and light.
Oh, yeah.
So this month in June, we have Josh from Esteban Carreras. Then, I don't know who we have for July.
Drew Estate?
No, I think it is Drew Estate.
Yeah.
Allie from Drew Estate comes in July, right? We're actually having Allie back for a big Drew Estate event the first Friday in September.
Okay.
But, you know, so we took our slowest night, which was Tuesday. It is now our 3rd busiest night of the week because of movie night.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, and so we're also expanding and doing events, like you said, off campus, right? And there's a pretty exciting project that's coming out. It's not completed yet, but you and Jordan made a trip down to Georgia and picked something up. We talked about this in I think our first 1 or 2 videos that we did. Jordan and I touched on it a little bit, and it's our mobile cigar lounge project, right?
Yeah. So our mobile cigar lounge. So let me tell you, some may try to claim that there are the first mobile cigar lounge in South Central PA, but I assure you, the Union holds that title.
Sure.
And we went out and bought a 24-foot trailer and are completely remodeling it. And Darren and Patrick are working on that. They are creating a whole new experience that you can use. We'll use it at events, right? So Carlisle has all their events. We're booked there. We're out at Bike Week, right? So that thing, a bunch of Brew Fest. So that'll be
The
there.
Links, I think we're out at the
Yep,
Links.
we're out at
yeah.
the Links for a couple events. So that was created for that, but it's also available for private rentals, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let's say you want to have, you want to have a, a bachelor party, or maybe you just want to have some
40th,
guys over.
50th birthdays,
Yeah.
weddings.
Absolutely. And
Weddings, yeah.
one thing that we just bought for that trailer is now a huge, and I forget how big this thing is, it's an inflatable outdoor movie screen. So
Great.
if you have the trailer there for a private event, we have the ability, now it is an extra cost, but we have the ability to play a movie for you or broadcast something on this huge outdoor screen.
Oh, wow.
So imagine, having a bunch of buddies over, or ladies over if you want to host a ladies paint night at your house, right? Because let's face it, cigars aren't just for guys.
No,
Correct.
absolutely
Yeah,
not.
absolutely.
And we can have that there. We are doing cornhole boards and anything we can do to enhance that experience. And not just, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, well, and to expand on the experience part too, right? I mean, so you expanded, the kind of the look and the feel of downstairs, the original shop up here, and you're expanding that as well to the mobile lounge. As
Yeah,
well, right?
and look, unlike some other, there is, I think, a newer company come out, and I can't remember their name, and it's not important. They have a mobile cigar lounge here in Pennsylvania, and I got to tell you, the thing looks fantastic.
Oh,
it's absolutely great, and I wish those guys all the best. The cool thing is they're far enough away from us that we really don't pull from the same clientele,
Crowd, yeah.
right? But with us, we want to make sure what we do it well, and we want to make sure it's affordable. So that lounge, while we take great pride in what it does and what it stands for, and we've nicknamed it the Traveler. So it's obviously a pull on Masonic as well as a certain general's horse's name, so everybody can go look that up. But we wanted to make sure that that's affordable to have at a backyard event, or whether it's out doing. We don't jack the prices up in the cigars for that simply because it's at an event. I don't believe in that, and we just don't do that.
Well, as a final note before we wrap up, okay, what I wanted to ask you was, then this is the big question. The one reason Jordan and I brought you out here was, what is the one thing that you want everyone to know about Union Cigar? Like, what's the most important thing for you as the new owner of Union Cigar that you want me, as either a new customer or a returning customer from years ago, to know about what is going on here now?
So I'm glad you asked that, right? I'm really glad, and that's the only reason I truly agreed to come on here, because I'm not one to get in front of a camera, right? First of all, it puts 10 pounds on, and I don't need an extra 10 pounds. But, we hold staff meetings every other month, right? And we hold management meetings with the management team on the opposite months. And the reason is, I believe our purpose is to ensure that everybody that walks through our door can forget the troubles on the other side of it. Everybody who comes through our door has a story, right?
Yep.
You don't know what's going on in someone's life, right? Francis, told me a story one time, and I'll share it with everybody, and it just goes to show, right? And I'm going to butcher this, so it just is what it is. I smoke cigars and I know some things. But at the end of the day, right, so this guy, he's feeling all depressed, okay? So he goes to the doctor, and he says, "Hey, doc, I find myself being so upset. I don't know what to do. I find myself feeling alone. Sometimes I cry. I'm just going through so much, I don't know what to do. What can I do to make me happy?" So the psychiatrist, the doctor, looks at him and says, "You know what? I got just the thing for you." He says, "There's this really cool circus in town." He said, "It's been here for years." He says, "And there's this clown down there that always makes me smile." He said, "It doesn't matter what's going on in my life. I go down there and I see that clown, and he always puts a smile on my face." He goes, "You should go see him. He always makes me happy." And he turns to the doctor and he says, "I am that clown." Right? So it goes to
That's
show
heavy. Yeah.
that you really don't know what's going on in somebody's life.
Sure.
Right? So when you walk through our door, you're the most important person or most important thing that's going on here. Right? Some restaurants, I was in the restaurant business. I graduated culinary school after I come out of high school. And, they talk about each one of these seats is worth X number of dollars, right? And from a business standpoint, that's absolutely right.
Sure.
Each one of those seats is worth X number of dollars a year. I just hate looking at it like that.
Sure.
I understand the importance of it in that world, but in our world, the most important person or most important thing in our tobacconist is the guy or the girl who walks through our door. And we're going to make sure that we do everything we can that you forget the troubles on the outside. That's why we don't allow in our shop politics. We don't talk politics here.
Politics, religion.
Right.
Yeah.
Or NASCAR.
I think you,
Politics, religion, and NASCAR.
right, I mean.
Banned topics.
Right, but at the end of the day, and that's why we don't have anything in our lounge or our shop that's political. We don't have the news on. You never come in anymore. To joke about Fox News, we don't have that kind of stuff on anymore. We want you to come in here, forget about your troubles on the outside, and enjoy whether it's 30 minutes with us or 3 hours. You're the most important person in our life at that time, and we're going to make sure you enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for the night. We're going to continue in that vein and enjoy these Padron 50th anniversaries as we wrap up. Just want to, again, remind everybody to hit the like, follow, and share button on all of our social media platforms. The graphics for those should be popping up on your screen here any minute. And we're gonna close it out for the night.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Union family. Help spread the word, and we'll see you at the Union.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.